welcome to Southern California WeatherForce.com. This is going to be a long-range kind of forecast going through the months of this El Nino season. We'll start out with November 2015 rainfall. You can even see these pink lines. These are the storm tracks mainly for the average of the month. Not all the storms are going to be along that track, but for the average of the months I'm going to be showing you, these are the storm tracks. As you can see in November 2015, this was done on October the 1st, just as a test to see what this month would be like. The storm track is well to the north, entering into the Pacific Northwest, then moving just to the north of our area, down into Texas, into the southeast, and a split track into the upper Midwest. And that's what's happening because we had a blizzard in Nebraska or tornadoes in Iowa and Missouri all through the other day. So that track looks like it was right on target, with average precipitation for here in Southern California slightly above average in the San Luis Obispo and Kern County area. And that's exactly what happened. This storm track is very indicative of Santa Ana wind patterns as the storms go to the north of our area and we generate more colder air in Nevada, and then it works with the thermal support down here. Now the temperatures basically reflect that. We have colder than normal temperatures in the west, and we have warmer than normal in the east. This is a typical El Nino type fall that we are seeing. A lot of people are saying, you know, what's going to be happening for the rest of the months? Is El Nino going to flop with all its effects? Well, let me tell you something. It's only November. Now, El Nino generally isn't until, you know, the effects December, January, February, and March. Now, if you think about the monsoon, since summer starts in June and winter starts in December, we're in November. So equivalent to that, we would be in May if it was monsoon season, and we don't generally see monsoonal storms in May. We wait until around sometime end of June and into July and August. So we wait until December, January, and February to really get into that deep winter flow pattern for El Nino effects. Now, the December 2015 precipitation forecast has the jet stream coming a little further south, aiming the Northern California area and southwestern Oregon zones. Now, it's still not a bullseye into Southern California, of course, but it is going to bring slightly above average rainfall for areas of Los Angeles, San Diego, mainly the metro areas, and above average rainfall for the rest of the forecast area north of Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara. All those areas are going to get above average rainfall. That's what these shades mean. So you got slightly above, above, and way above. San Francisco out into the areas where we really need it in the mountain areas of the Sierra Nevada, above average, well above average. We got that storm track moving through the south with some storm systems moving through the southern and southeastern United States, with some flow moving into the eastern seaboard as well. But since we're just talking about Southern California, we'll stick to this one. Temperatures will reflect in December with an El Nino pattern. This is very classic of El Nino. We got colder west and warmer east. So blowtorch in the east for most of December. It looks like mainly if you're looking for white Christmas this year in Southern California, you've got it. We've got below average temperatures and above average precipitation for our mountain areas. It looks like December again. A lot of that cold air moving through the area, so below average in temperatures. Now, January 2016, the start of the new year. We got the storm track that's going to be moving even further south into Southern California. We've got above average precipitation in every section of the forecast area, with well above average still for the San Francisco Bay Area and into the Mammoth Mountain area. Of course, the Sierra Nevada getting much needed snow. We need that snowpack to keep building this entire season across the California area. So it looks like we will start to dent that drought as we move into the new year, with the storm track moving directly into California. Now, just because this has a blue color, a light blue color in Southern California, doesn't mean it's going to be a flop. It just means we're going to be having above average precipitation, but we're not in the core for the most rainfall that will be hitting the California area. As stated before in many of the previous forecasts I did earlier for this one, temperatures will be reflecting for this, with warmer than average across most of California with that Pineapple Express type flow. Still doesn't mean the mountains are going to get snow. Yes, they are going to get snow up in the resort elevation level, so don't worry about that. You're good to go. But that warmer than average January looks very possible. And with that storm track, of course, moving across most of the southern tier United States, we get those surface lows sucking in the colder air out of the Arctic, making most of the United States, the rest of the United States, colder than normal. February is interesting. We got a ridge developing probably somewhere west of the Pacific Northwest, like we've seen in some of the many years before. Now you can see that we do have slightly above average in Central California where Mammoth is, and the Bay Area of San Francisco, and average precipitation in the Southern California area. That does not mean that February is going to be dry. February will have average precipitation, so yes, storms are still going to be hitting in February, and that's usually one of our wettest months. So February will not be the wettest month this season, but usually it is. So what that means is the average will be coming in. So we'll be having, a few storm systems still coming into the forecast area, just not as much as previous months before that. Temperatures are going to be reflect with that storm track just to the north. We still got warmer than average temperatures across most of the forecast area. In fact, look at the warm temperatures in the Pacific Northwest down into the Bay Area. That's very indicative of a ridge kind of splitting the storms off up and over with that other pink line going down into the southern and southeastern United States. We move into the last month of the storm season. That is March. March brings the jet stream back, and we get a ridge, and we bring that Pineapple Express kind of flow into the entire Southern California area, all the way up to the Bay Area. And of course, again, it's centering San Francisco and areas of Central and Northern California this entire season. Like I've said in many forecasts before, Southern California is not the bulk for this season. It's going to be where we need it the most, that snowpack up in Central and Northern California. We have a green color, which is slightly above average precipitation for March, and March doesn't usually have a lot of precipitation here in Southern California. Yes, sure, we do get storms in March, but it doesn't usually have a lot of precipitation, so seeing a slightly above average means that we will have a pretty good storm system track moving through the area, and that's going to be directly on the southern jet stream with the northern branch hitting the San Francisco area. Still, again, it looks very nice. Overall, this El Nino winter will have slightly below average to average temperatures and well above average precipitation for the entire Southern California area. And with that storm track into the California area, we do have mainly average temperatures across some of the metro Southern California area, with below average temperatures in our deserts and colder than normal temperatures across most of the country in the west and central portions, as we get those surface lows moving through Southern California and then jetting out into the southern United States with above average, of course, temperatures in Michigan. So that's what we're looking at. Remember, it's only November 2015. El Nino doesn't start to amp up until December and January. Stay tuned to SouthernCaliforniaWeatherForce.com.